Hello, welcome back to another hunting meeting. Today we are doing some poison aggro in Historic Brawl. We've got Fynn the Fangbearer as our commander today. Fynn gives all of our Death Touch creatures the ability to deal poison counters when they hit an opponent. So, we're running a lot of creatures, most of them 1 mana or 2 mana if we can, all of which have either Death Touch naturally or have Toxic of their own to deal additional poison on their own. So all of our creatures will deal poison damage to our opponents when they hit. Our goal is to just get in there very quick and kill our opponent before they have a chance to respond or do much of anything. To supplement this, we have some proliferate cards, which are very nice to just add on additional last little bits of poison once your opponent starts gunking up the board, as well as declunking the board. We have a bunch of fight spells and bite spells that have your Death Touch creatures deal damage to opponent's creatures, and because they have Death Touch, the opponent's creature will always die if it's damaged by a Death Touch creature, which is great. We've also got some ways to give Trample, as well as this Sixth Sense, which is our like 1 card draw spell, basically. I don't know, I like it. And then just some ways to protect, because people will be trying to kill your commander because Fynn is scary. But that's the deck. If you want to look at more detail at any of these cards, the whole deck list is going to be in the description below. Without further ado, let's get into some games. Alright, we are on the play with a game against Niv Mizzet Perun, a controlling Izzet deck. This one's going to be a good showcase to see if our deck has the speed to make it count. Got a turn 1 creature, turn 2 commander, usually a good start. But it looks like they do have a removal spell of some kind. Yeah, that's fine. Good news, they didn't use that on our commander. If they had used that on our commander, that would have been a lot worse. They might just have another removal spell for the commander, which would suck, but can only do so much. I am going to Sixth Sense. It's probably going to get countered, or my commander's going to get killed. That's unfortunate if that's the case, but gotta do what you gotta do. It is not. Okay. So we'll get a card draw, and we'll begin the poison. Yes, I will draw a card. Then I'll play a Doom Mover. Don't mind that at all. Oh, it has Opt. Fine. Doom Mover, I'm going to decline to tutor a basic to the top because I do not need more lands right now. I need more creatures to try and kill my opponent with. Alright. Perfect. I have Plaza of Heroes, which means that my commander has an extra layer of protection right now, so I'm not going to cast this Moss Viper, even though I could. I could cast it. I don't think I should right now. I think I should wait until I have access to an extra mana. So next turn I can play the Access Tunnel, play the Moss Viper, and still hold up the Plaza of Heroes. Which is great. All good. Opponent wants to draw some cards, fine by me. Like, this is one of those matchups where if your opponent does get to their commander, it's going to be really difficult to get through, especially since their commander has, whenever I cast if I cast a fight spell, they can kill any of my 1 toughness creatures on that spell, which can be very difficult to get through. But hopefully, if you're doing well enough, their opponent won't get to their commander. Okay. At this point, actually, because I found Snakeskin Veil, and I have Veil of Summer, I think I will leave. I'm gonna not cast the Moss Viper for another turn. A triggered ability. Yeah, I can't stop that. Veil of Summer doesn't get through that, and that's okay. In that case, I will play Moss Viper. Makes it so I'm threatening lethal for next turn. If they hadn't countered that, the poison from Fynn, I would not have cast Moss Viper, but Moss Viper means I have 1 less turn on the clock for them. Come on, opponent, show me what you got. They've got a Solemn Simulacrum. That's fine. I can just kill Solemn with Horrific Assault, hold up like 3 protection spells on top of that, and then just hit them for the win. Let's Horrific Assault. Opponent has nothing. Okay. And that looks like this is going to be Good game right here. I don't know what they could have for 1 mana to answer that, and it looks like the answer is nothing. Stifle, maybe? Nope. Good game, good game. Alright, you got a new game against Malcolm Alluring Scoundrel. Expecting to see some kind of tempo deck. Okay. I didn't see... Generally, just disclaimer, I will pretty much mulligan any hand in this deck that doesn't have a 1-drop Death Touchy or Toxic-y creature. Unless... for the first mulligan. Second mulligan, I am much more lenient. But the first mulligan, because you get a free mulligan, use it if you can. This deck thrives on making, like, really, really good draws. So, ideally, if I can play... okay, opponent flashes in their commander. So, ideally, if I can play that 1-drop, I will do it. I will tutor a land this time, because I don't mind drawing a 4th land here. It lets me double spell in 2 turns, without having to spend Bushwhack, which I like. Question is what I'm doing this turn. It could be commander first, but the odds that they have a counterspell for my commander is very high. So instead, let's coordinated clobbering Death Malcolm. Just try and kill their commander, slow them down a bit. If they stop it, that's okay. If they counterspell this, I should be able to get in my commander afterwards. And if they don't counterspell this, then their commander's dead, and I can just play one of my 2 Death Touchers. Probably the Thornwald Archer. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Let's do this. I really want to kill this Malcolm. I am not gonna let you bounce and proliferate this turn. Whoa, my gosh! You're kidding me! Wow! The amount of... I was expecting maybe a counterspell, but like, bounce spell with proliferate into the phase out? Huge for them. Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, okay, sure. Sometimes they just have it, you know? I will play Kappa Techwrecker because this is the creature that can fight their commander and survive with this tail swipe. Maybe I shouldn't do that though. Maybe I wait a turn. Because they don't cast for free until 2 turns, right? I have a turn off. If they find a proliferate spell, I don't have a turn off, and that would suck. But sometimes you just gotta risk that they have that proliferate spell, and then they cast some insanely powerful spell next turn. Impulse. Impulse is fine. Impulse is fine. And they can discard any cards, not just like instants or sorceries. Yeah, Malcolm's a interesting commander. I don't think I've actually seen a Malcolm deck until now on Arena. I guess in general, I haven't seen it in paper commander either. Ouch. They get to do their looting. Discards. You do not have the madness for that. Do not scare me. Ooh. Threatening. Let's begin by going to combat. See if they want to stop me from attacking. They don't. That's good. This is good. This is great. I will not remove a Death Touch counter. They don't even have an artifact or enchantment. Let's... Okay, now I know I said I was going to fight with Kappa Techwrecker. I actually want to see if I can fight with... No, I think I should do the Techwrecker. I want to do the Techwrecker specifically because if they have a proliferate spell or like a +1/+1 counter spell, the Death Touch will get through that. But specifically, if they have counter spell instead, it should have been the Dune Mover. And technically, I should have done Tail Swipe first. I'm gonna tail swipe actually right now. Because it's still my main phase, I get the +1. Now my Tech Wrecker survives. They're gonna bounce it to my hand, scry 1. Great, I don't care. That's fine. Do what you want. They very possibly have a counterspell for a commander, but they didn't counterspell the second fight spell, so I would be shocked. I wouldn't expect them to. There's not a ton of counter-target creatures I would want to play in Brawl. Just not as powerful an effect. So, I'm looking okay. I'm looking okay. They are holding up their commander at the moment. Having flash on your commander, very, very good. Just put that out there. Oh, ha ha ha! Oh, I figured, oh, of course, they couldn't possibly have anything that would get in my way after my commander hits the board. Maybe they bounce it, but they couldn't kill it. They can steal it, because I didn't have the mana to also hold up Hexproof with the Plaza of Heroes. That's unfortunate. I did not see that one coming. Okay. Well, let's kill my own commander. It sucks that I have to do that, but I will. And then I'm just gonna play this guy. Yes, you can ninjutsu him. Almost never do I want to. Because there's usually whatever I'd be ninjutsuing him in for is just another creature that deals a poison damage. Not a lot of ETBs to be worried about. Also, I almost never want to remove the death touch counter from him because it's just not super useful. Yes! Woo! On the play, another opening hand that I would love to mulligan. Isn't much better. Just not having any creatures to work with my commander for is usually not great. Let me look at what their commander is. Teysa of the Ghost Council. We've got an alchemy card here. When Teysa enters field, a 1/1 black spirit, and Teysa intensifies by 1. Spirits you control get bigger, equal to your intensity. Beginning your SMP, may exile, return. Got it. Okay, so it's a Ghost Council or Obsidian. It's an Obsidian with, instead of draining me, it just makes a bunch of guys. So I'm gonna have my sorcery speed removal is gonna suck. So this is actually a terrible hand. This is a lot better. I will keep a 6. I'm gonna throw back, I think, this guy. Yeah, because I might want to kill their first spirit with this. Alright. Turn 1, Roach. Turn 2, I can play my commander and attack. I could play the card draw instead, and I will if I draw like a 1-drop creature. But since I don't, I'd rather just play... Well, actually... no, I'd just rather play my commander. Yeah. Dune Mover's not awful, because it could guarantee I'd have the mana for 6th Sense and my commander on the 3rd turn. But I'm not as worried about that at the moment. Oh, sure. Yeah, you got it, opponent. Shame if that aura got removed and I proliferated. Anyways, what poison are you at now? 6 on turn 3? Love that. Love that. This is amazing start. Fantastic. Very, very quick. I love the Phyresis Roach. It doesn't have Death Touch, which means it's very blockable. People can just chump block it and basically eat it with any creature they have, which is annoying, but that's okay. Worse things. I'll send my commander to command zone for sure. Fight spell is fine. I plan on playing commander next turn. No. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna 6th Sense my Roach. Play a Dune Mover. Oh, you know what? Hahaha. Don't be like me. I could have won this turn because that does 3 poison this turn, and then the Staff of Completion would have been an extra poison. Doesn't matter. Probably would have won the next turn anyways. They're not running counterspells. But that is a lesson that I often forget. Whenever you're playing an aggro deck, first thing to check, is my opponent dead at the beginning of your turn? Always try and think about that. You'll win games that you didn't think you were going to win because you forgot that your opponent was just dead on board. Or dead on board plus the cards in your hand. You know what I mean. Next thing, the next game. Okay, this is a tough one. Not the keep. Great keep. But it's a tough one because we're playing against Fairy Hero of Dominaria, which means we are basically playing the game on hard mode because they are the control-y of all control decks. And as much as we're aggro, we're not as life total pressure-y. I don't even think I can play my commander here. Right? I play my commander, it dies. This is going to be a very difficult matchup. Playing against control sucks. I don't like it. In theory, I can get around. What's it called? Get around sensor, but yeah, not great. They're just gonna keep holding up mana. Unfortunately, I don't really have much to combat that. Let's go to combat. If they want to kill that, great. I would love for them to kill that. Let's try the Staff of Completion. They're probably counterspelling this. It's okay. Reprieve. Reprieve is fine, I guess. Yeah, the one thing is, so normally aggro is great against control, right? The problem is, Fynn is a weird, special kind of aggro where he has one very specific spell that matters a lot more than the other cards. Normally in aggro, you don't really care which of your spells resolve. You just need them to resolve, right? Like a burn type thing. You just need to get 7 spells through, right? And you burn them out. Sure. 5 mana growth spiral is acceptable. But problem with Fynn is that Fynn is so important to the deck that if you don't get Fynn to resolve specifically, then you're kind of screwed. Yeah, and unfortunately, the opponent has Teferi now, which means I'm likely never going to resolve Fynn. Show me nothing? Let's attack their face. Attacking Teferi isn't going to do much for me. Okay. That's shocking. I expected to die here. Oh, come on. They have double removal spell? Yeah, I'll find a basic. They're going to be drawing a card every turn. They're never going to run out of mana. You know, not a great start to things. That's for certain. Yeah. Not great. My commander costs 4 to recast, which means I wouldn't be able... I guess I could replay Staff of Completion first, but I'd have to play it before my commander and then use the mana from the staff for the commander. Unless I draw land here, which is possible, but it's not great. Not great at all. I'm gonna play 6 cents. I get some card draw. Problem is, with this, is that, unfortunately, I don't have protection right now. Yeah. Alright, here's a lesson for you guys. When you're faced with a situation where it feels like none of your spells can resolve, your opponent's locking down the board, you're playing Brawl, right? None of this matters. Here's the fun part. If you're losing this badly, you can always scoop. Okay, we have got ourselves playing against Halana and Alina Partners. This is a deck that I am worried about going a little bit over the top of us, which can be difficult. This hand's not much better. I'd have to draw land just to play 1 creature. I think I'm gonna have to go down to 6. The better 6. Better 6 for sure. And throw back the Atrocity. Yeah, keep our aggressive stuff. Because if we let that deck live for just a bit too long, it's over. Doesn't their commander have first strike too? Yeah, they have first strike. Getting through their commander is going to be very difficult. And they're just going to have a lot of stompy creatures, most likely, so going to have to play aggressive. Ooh. Do I fight their Incubation Druid? No, I'd rather fight their commander next turn. Because I bet their plan is to play a land, play their commander, put counters on the incubation druid to make you tap for more the turn after this. So instead, I'll let them play their commander, let them put the counters on the incubation druid, which is gonna suck. But then, Blizzard Brawl, kill their commander. They would have a 2/4 incubation druid, which is fine. But I would have 3 creatures able to attack, 4 including the Axemate perks. Listen, the plan's coming together. I don't know if I'm just talking nonsense to you guys, but kill Halana and Alina, right? I win the fight. Adds indestructible, but doesn't even matter. I win the fight anyways, because they only have 2 power. Right? Then, play Flesh Borrower. Another attacker for next turn. They're going to untap with a 2/4. A tap for 3, granted, does tap for, they have 6 mana right now. 7 if they play a land. They could recast their commander, but if they do, they're done for. Lava Coil, pretty good start for them. I'll give them that. Lava Coil was a good one. Come on, show me what you've got. Okay, opponent has. This is interesting. The only way I'm getting through is with my commander for the poison damage. So at this point, I'm going to have to spend a turn to play my commander, or give something Death Touch. Kami can trade with my Blight Blade if they wanted to, which is good for them. But either way, they're going to be taking 2 points of poison here. Now, another tough situation for them. They have the ability to cast their commander still, but that doesn't really help them here. They didn't have a land last turn, which means if they play a land, would be an indication that they drew a land. So, that could be good. I actually want them to play a land. It means they have less. They guaranteed know that they had drawn a land. I was thinking. I think if they had another removal spell, they would have immediately fired that off on my commander. They have not immediately fired off a removal spell on my commander, so they likely don't have a removal spell. Now, okay, that's an interesting choice. I see. They did have a removal spell, they just needed to do it a little differently. That's fair. Okay. Here's what I'm gonna have to do. And play my Heir of the Wild. Unfortunately, here's the bad news. I'm going to be a couple turns out from killing my opponent because I did not draw a land this turn. Yeah, my commander's a bit far out, which sucks. No! Oh, wait! The pump spell for the win! Yes! That was very clutch, actually. Okay. Very good for me. Now, I'm not very close to killing them with poison, but I also am just going to be attacking for 8 damage on my turn, and it's all Death Touch, so if they want to trade with the Ornery Booze, they have to spend their turn, they have to lose that creature completely. Yeah. Oh, I forgot that the Arrow gets +1 from the perks. Nice. Opponent trades with the Ooze. That's fine. They're going to put that counters back on the Ozolus. Going to keep giving more counters with the Branching Evolution. Scary, certainly. If I draw a land here, they don't have removal. They are dead. Right? They have 1 card in hand. Oh, that's not a land. Okay. We're just going to have to do a bite. The bad news, and the very bad news right now, is if they find any creature with haste, I'm just dead. Technically, I could have held back one of my creatures to stop that, but I am at I have them on a 2-turn clock at this point from my Death Touchers at the moment. So I'd much rather just keep them on the lower clock and risk them playing a hasty creature. Okay, they don't have their commander yet. What's your last card? You're proliferating? Okay. Okay. That's game. Whew. I was worried about this one, but they just didn't find enough lands early on, and they never really got off of the back foot. And swing for lethal. We are on the draw this game, playing against Big Atali. I'm okay with this hand. I have my 1-drop. Got some solid stuff. Generally, if I see that 1-drop in a couple lands, I'm probably keeping. This deck, really, I just don't want to let them get to Atali. Once they get to Atali, it becomes a lot more difficult for me to win. If they don't get to Atali, then great. Opponents ramping twice on turn 2. They're going to untap with 5 mana? No, 4 mana. I can count. They're untapping with 4 mana. If they ramp again, they might be able to play Atali in 2 turns, which is very scary because I'll only have done 6 poison by then. It can be tricky, for sure. There's 1 ramp. Do I see another? Let's see, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, okay. Let's attack. Unfortunately, I kind of wanted to draw land here. When it seems like they could be holding something up, I don't know. I believe I should just pass. I could play Swifties, but I'd rather hold up my Tamiyo Safekeeping and potentially one of my fight spells to kill an Atali that comes down, or they scoop. Sometimes you just get there. Likely, I imagine they didn't have a land to play, and so they were just going to do nothing this turn. Good game. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, stick around and watch another one.